So you know what I mean. Like, please bear with us with the technical. Um, we may have some technical snafus, but regardless, I got a
We're
beer today, a
trying. We're
red stripe.
trying
Haven't had
this.
a red stripe in a long time. I got my water. We're gonna do some special, hopefully.
I've got my
But yeah,
coffee.
man. So talk to us, man. What's the deal, brother? This is our first ever Uptown Voices live. I think we're simultaneously broadcasting through our channels, but that might not be correct. But you know, we're
I
working on
think
it. You
we
know what I
are.
mean?
I
But
don't
what up,
know.
man?
I don't
Octavio,
know if we
talk to me,
are.
brother.
I see that our it says live on my screen here. Before we get started, fully started, and we've already gotten started, but I just wanted to say that today's Veterans Day, and I wanted to make sure that we take a moment to say that we're thinking about you veterans out there. I know that in my generation, a lot of people did serve and have seen combat overseas, and it's different for everybody. But those wars really were difficult for people of my generation, and I just want to know that I want everybody to know out there, if you're a veteran, and if you're watching this, I thank you for your service, and I know it's complicated times,
Yeah.
and that your service means different things for different people, but the fact of the matter is that you served, you were out there. So thank you so much for that. It's a beautiful cold day here in New York City, where we're at, Uptown Washington Heights.
But
The
hold
bridge
on,
is
man.
lit.
Let me say something for the veterans too. You don't get to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hold, I
No,
got
I
something
was.
for the veterans too.
It's just me. It's just me.
You
I only
you
get
just
to.
let it go like I'm unpatriotic, like you know what I'm saying. But let me say something to the veteran, like let black
No,
hates the
no,
veterans, like what the
that's
hell, like
not it. That's
cheers to
not
the
it. No,
veterans.
my
You know what I'm
bad.
saying? Like you can't move on. No, hold
My
on, but let
bad.
me do my thing too. Like shout out to the veterans, like. You know what I mean?
My
Like
bad.
I don't believe in America's wars, but doesn't mean that I don't love the people that are just regular people trying to survive, right? And shout out to them, shout out to their sacrifice. I actually saw something today that it made me think of today. I guess they do a yearly event in D.C. right for veterans, and
Yeah, they fly
Barack
them
Obama,
down.
who I have my issues with, as anyone that watches the show. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he greeted them as they came, when they and it was kind of beautiful to see when we have the tyrant, having fucking Gatsby fucking themed, fetes, galas, on while he cut SNAP benefits. So it was a nice thing to see, and shout out to all the veterans. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you made sure that you got in there. I apologize to you for moving on like that. I'm just so excited. I've been really excited about this. So like I got a little bit of the jitters. So, but you're right. Like what you say is so true when you say like I don't believe in the wars that my generation has had to endure. I thought like especially the war, the Iraq War, you know it was under false pretenses. You know, I thought that the Afghanistan war, we just abandoned the Afghan people, and our fighters have suffered for that. So I really feel for our veterans who have had to endure. And it just made me think also about what we're experiencing right now. This, how can I call it? This new Gatsby era, I guess. Oh, I guess we're not live. We're not. Let me, folks, stand by. Let's let's do a little bit
Well, yeah, you
of
work on that. Work on the tech. I keep talking. Yeah, I keep
yeah,
talking. We
yeah,
good?
yeah. You take it from here. But what I was going to say was, we're in a Gatsby era where we have the haves and the have-nots like never before, and most people who serve are definitely not in the rich people They're just definitely not rich. They're mostly working class people and poor people who get who put in their time in the army. And what we're seeing now is this with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these billionaires. They control so much money, and the the poorest and most vulnerable people are the ones that are being used as pawns in our government. So, did that make any sense to you?
Yeah, exactly. Like it did no, but I mean, that's the thing is, man. Like I'm against American militarism. You know what I mean? But again, the soldiers at the end of the day, they're just the pawns, right? Like, basically, but the American, but there's no denying, right, that the American military is just an arm of American capitalism, right? And it basically uses it like gunboat diplomacy, right? That's the way it's always been, right? And I think we're getting back to that right now, right? And you have, Trump amassing massive forces in the Caribbean, using Puerto Rico once again, for their military adventures. And it looks like they're going to try to get rid of Maduro in Venezuela. They look like they want to go after Colombia, right? Because Colombia is standing strong, holding it down. And they also look like, and I think Rubio, of all people, that motherfucker, I think he would love to be the person that brings down the regime in Cuba, right? So I think we're in a really dangerous time. And again, it just goes to show you, right? Like, and that's why watching, I'm not even gonna lie, right? Like I said, I have my issues with Obama, right? Like I've had a lot of issues with Obama in retrospect. You know what I mean? Because I really had a lot of love for that man. But to see him there interact with these old soldiers really touched me, right? And then it was like these people gave up their lives. They lost limbs. They lost brothers. They lost a lot. You know what I mean? And that has to be, and that's not their fault, right? And they did what they could, right? So and then you have right now, you have people like from the military going to food pantries, not getting paid, right? So it's like this talk about that they care about. They don't give a fuck about the military, really, right? They just want to use it, and then they discard these people, and that's why these streets of this country are filled with homeless veterans, right? Because what they were forced to do outside, they don't know how to live in this world anymore, a lot of them. You know what I mean? So shout out to the veterans, and that's still not down with the wars. You know what I mean? I'll never be down with the wars. I don't think none of these wars are good wars. I think they're all wars of conquest, and it was about taking things from other people. So I don't think none of the wars are good. So just to be on that, but I do understand, you know what I'm saying, that it's not these people's fault, right? And so shout out to the veterans, and again, like, fucking, we got to say not a shout out to Schumer, right? You know what I mean? To Cuck Schumer, no shout out to him, right? Like, what makes me mad more about Chuck Schumer is that he said, I voted no, but he's the one that orchestrated the voting of yes by all the people that were not, had to have an election coming up, or they were retiring, and that was enough to cave. And they caved. It was a historic cave, right? At the point where we just had a Democratic victories all up and down this country, right? And we had a wave going. Everyone saw this as the Republicans shut down. We had a lot of momentum, and the senators just squandered it, right? So now people's subsidies didn't get nothing. They got a promise, right? That's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? So Schumer, you gotta go. I hope we cannot get rid of him fast enough. And this is a message to everybody. This is a message to Richie Torres. I heard he has a challenger. Michael Blake is going to be running against him. He also has another challenger. So I'm interested in that race a lot, man. Octavio, what's up, brother? We got this going?
No, I'm trying to forgive us all here. I'm trying to make sure that our live is working, and I don't see it working. I don't know why that is. I don't know what's going on here. I've got.
Is it on live on YouTube? Let me check.
It's showing me. that we
I
have.
think we should just get off and
3
then come
people.
back on.
No, it's showing me that we've got 3 people on YouTube watching.
Okay,
Oh,
so we're
and
live
now
on
I
YouTube. That's
see-
good. So what up, 3 people?
We're live on YouTube. We're live on
I didn't know
YouTube. Okay, yeah, there we
We
go.
all the way live from the heights.
Let's all right, let me quickly check something here.
So while you
Sorry,
do that, I'm gonna
everybody.
keep talking. So we got our 3 viewers on YouTube. You heard? Yeah, but so like I was saying, Murray Challenge, Michael Blake, who ran for governor, ran for mayor, he's gonna be one of the people taking him on, and I'm looking forward to that race. We cannot get rid of Richie Torres fast enough. He does not represent the Bronx. It is the poorest district in this country, and he spends all his time talking about Israel and just being just a complete shill for AIPAC. Richie Torres got to go. Like he is part of the old guard, even though he's a new face, and I'm tired of seeing his stupid face around. I recently saw a video. I forgot what news outlet it was, and he was they asked him, about Michael Blake and about the, he was like, who? I don't know who that is. Who's that? Michael Blake? Who's that? And then they brought up the AIPAC. He's like, I'm here every day in the Bronx. And then, you know what's so funny about that guy, right? Because if you look, and again, this is gonna sound crazy, right? But if you look at his haircut, it looked horrible. Like what I'm trying to say, it didn't look like he didn't comb it in a cool way. It looked like he didn't comb it in a corny ass non-Bronx way. He looks so fucking corny. That guy is such a horrible. Someone told me a while ago. A friend of mine, who I'm not gonna divulge. One of my sources. He told me that his seat was completely bought, right? And then when you look at Richie Torres, look at his ascent. He went from being nobody.
Yeah,
to
he was
being
nobody.
everywhere. He was on HBO Habla. He was nobody, and then he's black, he's Puerto Rican, he's gay, he's from the project. You're like, wow, this is an amazing story. Who is this guy? He's amazing. And then he was talking that talk, right? But then what was really interesting early on, because I was doing a deep dive on this, whenever his whole social media was looked like the IDF ran it, first of all. Like out of 9 out of 10 posts were about Israel, straight up and down, or about anti-Semitism.
You know
all the
what's-
time.
you know what's-
He never
you know
talked about
what's-
the Bronx. And then
What's interesting about that is that, I'm sure that Richie Torres, being from the Bronx, probably didn't have a lot of money to support him, right? And I'm sure that if the AIPAC came in and was shoveling money into his campaign, that they had demands for what he was supposed to do with that money, as anybody does when.
But it's even beyond that. But it's beyond that. But it's beyond that. See, that's what we think. But that's like AIPAC. What I'm realizing now is they groom people before they even get into politics. They create them, right? They are creations of organizations. Just like J.D. Vance is a creation of Peter Thiel and the oligarchs, right? The tech bros, right? They are creations. They take them and they groom them and they marshal them along on their path. They are wholehearted creations of them. It's different than, we like them. It's funny. Cory Booker gave the secret away. And I think Cory Booker was one of these people that was groomed for a long time. He says, what you got to go, he was talking to a group of, I think it was AIPAC or some similar group. He says, what you got to go do is you got to go into get those young black kids, get them early. So I think that's what happened to him. Richie Torres, very young. Like, again, and again, we cannot continue down this path anymore. Right? Like it really has to, we have to expose all this. The Mamdani effect is real. We have enemies. And that's why when we were talking about, like you said, you want to hold them to account, and I hear you, but we get enough shit from the other side that our side needs to stop that. Right? So for example, the New York Times, the New York fucking Times, I'm canceling my subscription. My wife reminded me again, I got to cancel my fucking subscription, right? Because they did. They said Mamdani's not the future of the party. This guy is. And it's fucking Josh Shapiro. Josh Shapiro?
God.
This is your answer. Josh Shapiro. Come on, like, be for real. And it goes to show you that we have everyone against us. Oh, CBS now is just, it's wild what CBS is now. Like, CBS went from being, you know, the kind of they set the standard, and they kind of also, not that they were good or bad, but you knew when watching Sunday CBS what the way the officialdom read the story. Like, it set the tone. Right? And now it's just, they're doing like hit pieces, like just really cheap shit. You like, they're the New York Post now? Like, what happened?
Well, they are. With,
you know, and again, that's what I'm saying. The beautiful.
They are the New York Post. They are the New York Post. I mean, CBS is now run by, CBS News Division is run by Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss.
And the place is owned by, you know, a nepo baby of a billionaire, and yeah, it's not good. They fired a ton of people from CBS. All the channels are being affected. I just wanted to say, if you open up the chat, Led, you'll see that we have a few people in there. Some people that a lot of them I think that we know. So I want to say what's up to Frank. He's on there, Frank de la Merced, our friend and artist. Also, my mom is on there.
That's my brother right there. What up, Frank? Oh, shout out to your mom.
Here.
Saludos, señora. Hello.
She has a comment.
Mom's like a #1 fan.
Mom is a number one fan. And one
comment?
that I don't recognize, but maybe you do. I don't know. Cariño, amor y respeto. What's up to you? Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for watching. Please, you know, if you have any questions or comments, do add them into the live chat. I don't know, Led, what happened with the Instagram. It's supposedly connected. I don't know why it's not showing.
It's not connected because I would see it on my end. Yeah, I would see it on. Yeah, I would see it on my end if it was
weird.
Doing it. And it's like
I don't know how to fix it. That's the main problem. Yo, what's up, Frank?
So good. Was there?
So so yeah, bear with us. I'm glad that it's our friends and family here, and bearing with our technical difficulties. Adriana, what's up? That's my sister-in-law, and so that's also my brother-in-law over there. We got Adriana. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being on our first episode. This is making me feel better, you know, because there's a lot of kinks that we need to sort of work out, and we're doing it on the fly. I think maybe we're gonna need a producer the next time to sort of like help us maybe to figure this out, or maybe not. Maybe we can do it ourselves. But I think
we can do it ourselves.
Yeah, we can do it ourselves. What I wanted to say is that it's true that both sides. What you say is there's Ruben. He's also one of our #1 fans, Ruben.
Well, Ruben.
He's Adriana's husband, my brother-in-law. There's Eileen. What's up? That's your wife.
Oh, the wife is on?
Yeah, wifey's on.
I can't talk shit about her then now.
I love it. So, thank you for bearing with us.
You might see a chancleta come at my way.
Yeah. Look, what I think is what you say is very true about the progressive Democratic. And there's my wife, Kathy. What's up? What you say is very true about the progressive Democrats, that we need to, definitely support our progressive people, because the corporate Democrats and the corporate Democrat establishment, which includes the major media networks, they they don't like what they're seeing, because what they're seeing is a grassroots movement of people who are feeling empowered to make a change, and that if all of our $1 bills add up to quite a bit of power, even though the billionaire class has a lot more dollar bills than we do. The fact of the matter in New York City is that the progressive Democrat wing has a mandate now. 50%, more than 50% of the votes went to Mamdani, more than all of the other candidates combined went to Mamdani. So here in New York, we certainly have a mandate. In the midterm elections that we just saw, the Democrats really swept. And that makes me think that there's more of a mandate there. I think that people were suffering with the government shutdown. People were going to lose their SNAP benefits, and that's terrible and that's horrible. But now people are going to lose their health insurance, and their health insurance is going to be extremely expensive. And those same people are not going to have enough money, even if they get SNAP, to pay for their health care. And thousands of them are going to be dying. And it's, to me, it's the cruelest time that we're seeing right now. And like you say, the moderate Democrat, which I think moderate Democrat is becoming a misnomer, right? What you always say, I think, Led, is so true.
It's a Republican. It's a Republican light.
Yeah, it's Republican light. It's the Republican, the traditional Republican Party has become the Democratic Party, right? So MAGA is the Republican Party now, and the Republican Party has moved over to be what the Democrats were, and the progressive side is what I would consider to be the true Democrats. But we're in for a big battle.
They have the same donors. It's blue MAGA. Yeah, it's blue MAGA. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same people paying them, and we're done. Like I'm saying, the Mamdani effects. Like, again, I get they caved. Senator Schumer led a caving, even though he played himself saying he didn't vote for it, but he orchestrated that whole thing. But Schumer is from here. He needs to go. Yeah. Richie Torres needs to go. Apac Shakur, Hakeem Jeffrey, he needs to go. We need to primary all of these. And again, we may not be able to control nationally, but what happens in New York City, it got to change. It's over for these people. Like, Richie Torres has Michael Blake who's running against him. We need to support Michael Blake or whoever else, because we need Richie Torres has to go. We need to put an X on him, just like we said bye to Cuomo forever. We got to do the same thing. We got to keep going. Like, again, this is a new time. This whole, like, half measures and incrementalism, we can provide in New York City an alternative to what's happening nationally. We can provide an alternative to the tyrant. We have no choice but to do that. But that also means, cleaning up our own house. Right, we have the calls are coming from inside the house. Schumer's a fucking traitor. Schumer needs to go. Chuck Schumer needs to go. He needs to be excised from the body politic of the Democratic Party. The whole leadership, all of them gotta go. It's a new day in New York City, and it's time for a new day in this country. Like, we cannot play these games anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I have to agree with you. I do believe that Chuck Schumer. Look, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, right? So I can't say that he orchestrated it. But if I were to orchestrate something, this is what it would look like. From my understanding is that there were 8 senators who were looking to go against the Democratic hard line. But those 8 senators or 7 senators were vulnerable in their states, and so it sounds like
He's the minority leader. So wait a minute. Hold on. So you telling me
No,
this
no.
just happened? That
No, no,
somehow
I'm not-
these 8 people that hold on. They all. So that was orchestrated. And who was going to
No.
orchestrate it? Butt Schumer.
Yeah, no, but
Schumer.
what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that the way it worked was that there were different. It was different senators, but they were all under threat. So these senators were all either retiring from their states or they don't have elections for
Right.
a long time, and so they took the stand instead, and that gave Chuck Schumer apparently cover to say, well, I voted against it, and please don't primary me. But it's not a good look on Chuck Schumer. It's not a good look on our country. It's not a good look for Democrats. I am encouraged though that if this is going to go to the House for a vote, and that's going to cause the House to swear in the Arizona Democrat Adelita Grijalda, and she's going to be the final signer of the petition to force a House vote on releasing the Epstein files. So if there's a silver lining, it's that at least the Epstein files, there's going to be a vote because she's going to vote to make that happen, and they'll be released, and we'll see what's up there. I mean, I'm sure it's.
That's also
I'm sure there's a lot of
fanciful, too, that somehow it's just going to be released just because they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just going to come out. Like, let's.
I was going to say there's going to be a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, you make it seem like it's a foregone conclusion. Yeah,
I
tons of
do, and I don't
intrigue,
think, and I really don't think it is. I think that there's going to be a lot of intrigue and a lot of fighting on that. But it's going to be interesting because even on the MAGA side, they want those Epstein files to be released, and it's causing a lot of friction on their own side. So it's whatever you want to say. It's getting hot in here, Even though in my apartment it's freezing cold, it's getting hot in
Middle
Congress.
finger to Trump forever. Middle finger to Trump. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Like I think that things are changing. Like there's cracks in the walls, right? So I don't know if you saw, he was at a Commanders game this weekend. Right, and he was booed. Yeah. He was booed, like decisively booed, right? But what's really interesting, people were going about the boos, and the boos were important. But did you hear his speech, Octavio? Did you hear the speech that he gave?
No.
Go back and listen to it. He was actually asking people to pledge allegiance to him. Look at the speech. He was like, "I want you to," he said, "I solemnly swear that and he said, say your name, that I pledge allegiance to the flag and this and that, and to my president." Like, that was some weird shit. Like all the stuff that they said about Biden, that was well-deserved. Biden was, I used to call him El Muerto. He was El Muerto, right? But this guy is not El Muerto. He's El Cuco. Like, this dude is dementia out, right? I really feel like he's like dying soon, but he's crazy. And I think that needs to be like talked about as well. Like, this man is not well.
Oh, he's been. The problem about saying that he's like not well because of all that is that's how he's always been. So he's always not been well. That's the problem. He's always been a nut.
No, that's difference. No. He's first of all, that's not true. Have you seen his hands? Like, he has actual. Like, there's a lot of health things going on with him. Like, have you seen the hands where they give him an IV? So, I mean, like, he hasn't been this bad. And he says things where, like, I know I'm not going to heaven. He said, like, a few weeks ago. He also says, this dude, I really feel like, again, I know what you're saying. Like, don't be so hopeful that he's going to, you know what I mean? but still, like,
I gotta say,
he's evil. So maybe, but he,
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm sort of like infatuated with trying to like analyze is he wearing like a colostomy bag? Is he like, everybody's like trying to like show like how he's like wearing all these like devices that are like basically like weakened at Bernie's, keeping him alive. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. I do know that I saw his hands and they look
Yeah, you know,
majorly messed up. I do know that I saw his ankles and they look like elephantitis. So like I know that those issues are there. I know that he's wearing way too much makeup for somebody who's like, okay. But I am
fucking
like
fraud,
infatuated with trying to like analyze him. Like as I see the pictures,
Yeah,
like
you know, it's so funny you
what
say
is
that.
bulge?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. There was a picture that I saw, like like right after the whole. I think Schumer went to the White House, and there's a picture of like, it's Trump with his hand on Schumer's face, and Schumer looks like a payaso, which he is. But I was thinking because I've heard that Trump really stinks, that he smells like shit.
Oh,
So
I've heard that.
I was wondering if like, can I like, do you smell it when you're that close? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Like.
I want to know.
I don't know.
If,
You know what I mean?
I want to. I wish I knew somebody in the administration who could confirm whether or not the Trump aroma is a thing or not. But I've seen it on social media. People reacting when he gets when he gets there. We got somebody on the
Space 2277. What up? What up? What up? What up?
Yeah, talk to us.
Yeah, I don't know who this is, but what up, man? What's the deal, brother?
I don't know you, but I'm glad you're here.
But yeah, man. But.
So
thanks for
anyway,
being on the show,
yeah,
man.
I'm just
Broadcasting
trying
live from
to.
Washington Heights.
That's right. I do want to talk about something that got snuck into that Senate vote, which was interesting. Senators whose phone logs were taken, senators whose phone logs were seized by the January 6th investigators can now sue the government for up to $500,000. Like that was one of the line items in the continuing resolution that the Senate passed. So, if you were a senator and you were trying to collude with people in the January 6th rioters and you were under investigation and your phone messages got seized, you can now sue up to $500,000, which is really a disgrace. And that was in the law, which I read today. By the way, I took the time and poured through that. The law does. There are things that are being, there are a lot of stuff like SNAP benefits are going to be available, but they're going to be reduced, but they're going to be available. They're not going to be frozen anymore. And that's great. But I don't know. I think it was an opportunity for this country to really like stand up for what it believed in. And I think that's what was, I think that's what was, that's what's so scary for the establishment is like we were seeing like bookstores starting food pantries. We were seeing like individuals getting activated to feed their neighbors in their neighborhoods. I have a friend and he's a veteran and he's also a federal worker who's been working without pay for all this time. And his neighbors like were all chipping in so that his family could have food. You know what I mean? This is a guy who I went to high school with, who I stay in touch with on Facebook. And for me, what that showed was just like that we were shifting into resilience gear. You know what I mean? We were shifting into people's resilience gear, and that we were as a people gonna definitely give that middle finger and say, you know what, we got this. We got this. Don't worry about us. We got this. Save our freaking healthcare, right? But instead, for whatever reason, it's like gotten shut down, and that's because of Schumer. He's the leader, and he let it go.
Yep.
So I gotta tell you, I am really like disappointed. I am so disappointed. I mean, I was already disappointed with the corporate Democrats, but I'm just so disappointed more so now. Um, and I felt for the people who were suffering, but I think that they were. Well, I don't want to speak to anybody about. I don't want to speak for anybody, but if I was in that position, I would want my healthcare to be protected, because especially if my neighbors were getting activated in a way that we haven't seen people in New York City. We have seen it. We saw it on 9/11. We saw it during the blackout. We've seen neighbors get together. We've seen neighbors help each other. And I think it's such a beautiful thing in New York, of all places. We have the rep of being such a rude society here in New York City, and unfriendly, but that's not the case. We just have a different personality. You know what I mean? We'll tell you how it is. But if you're
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the littlest things in New York City, if you're a mother and you have a stroller, somebody is gonna stop and help you to take that stroller from the subway
Facts.
platform
Facts.
up to the sidewalk. They're gonna stop and do that. They might not even say a word to you, but they're gonna help you get it up to the sidewalk, and then you guys are gonna go on your day.
Facts.
Thank you, goodbye. Right? In New York City, we saw people during that
Facts.
blackout
Yep.
get together. We saw bodega owners like say, you know what, all my ice cream's gonna melt anyway. Here, take the ice cream. People were having a party, eating ice cream on their blocks. It was like such a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? And forget about 9/11. Like 9/11, we saw like people get together and help each other out. So like, I think we were like in a moment where that same kind of like feeling was starting to permeate into neighborhoods, not New York, into New Jersey. It was happening in Maryland. It was happening in Virginia. It was happening in the southern states. People were helping each other out,
I think
and
I think I also, yeah, I think it helped out. It helped out electorally too. You know what I mean? I think that helped. You know what I mean? Like I think that solidarity, that kind of like we got each other, kind of helped electorally. But I gotta say, before we go any further on this, Space 2277, he's from Dykeman and he lives overseas. So shout out to him, Dykeman in the building. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So he said he loved the show. So yeah, my brother, thank you so much. Mad love wherever you at, man, for real. And Dykeman forever. You know what I mean? But yeah, and off topic, but I have to bring this up because so I don't know, you don't know this, Octavio, probably because it's not really like part of your like the things you're into, but a big Harlem like personality just came out of jail. Like he did a 18-year bid. His name is Max B. He's like just like a personality. He raps, he makes music, he makes some mixtapes that were really popular back before he went away. And he came up with the term wavy, right? He's credited for coming with the term wavy. So he just came out Sunday, and on Sunday you saw him in the Jets game, dripped out in Louis Vuitton, and that same night he was making music with French Montana. So I gotta say that because it's a big Uptown thing. Shout out to Max
yeah,
B. That's a big Harlem thing so that's shout out to him, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And
That's
then
great.
also
I'm so
shout out to my brother Snowman who did these shirts. Yeah,
That's
Snowman did these
cool.
shirts. It's for some type of NASCAR thing. Yeah, Snowman, that's my brother. He's killing the game. He's done a bunch of like collabs with the Nets. He did one with Modelo, and he did it with his NASCAR. I don't even know what Grillo's pickles really means. I don't actually even put like usually think like, but it's because of my brother Snowman. So shout out to Snowman. I
I
bought this.
think
I saw
I
it out. I got an email and
I,
just bought it. Shout out to Snowman.
I think it's literally a pickle company. Actually, I think it actually is like literally a pickles. But Yeah, I see snowman stuff all
I don't
over
know
the
what it
place.
got to do with racing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't-
Snowman's dope. Snowman's so dope.
But yeah, I see his stuff all like the bodegas that are like painted snowman. It's so cool. Like I love it. And the vans,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
car wash vans that are on the side. A lot of them get the snowman treatment,
Yeah.
and
He's the
that's so
man.
cool,
He's
so
the man.
colorful, so wonderful. I'm a fan of graffiti, and so I love it when graffiti like transcends the it transcends and it becomes like something about your neighborhood that you just like it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. And I think if that's how it makes me feel when I see the snowman stuff. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
So
but it, like to me, like what makes Snowman dope is that he's part of a continuum, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that what people don't really understand, like Washington Heights is crucial to the whole graffiti movement and tagging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first like credited graffiti artist was Taki 183. He was a Greek kid from 183rd. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so this neighborhood has always been a street art, a graffiti neighborhood. You know what I mean? And to me, like my brother Dister, who's to me probably the greatest graffiti artist to come out of the Heights in terms of just impact. Like his murals still stand. They usually don't get buff. People don't really, shit on Dister's murals because
Yeah.
I Love My Hood is real. He gets real respect. But to me, there's a direct line to me between Dister and Snowman and what they do because it's really community oriented. It's really just really about the culture. So I think I would love to one day work on an exhibit that kind of goes from Taki to Dister to Snowman and everywhere in between because I think graffiti is so important uptown. And we're part of that. We're part of that movement. You know what I mean? We're the birth of that movement.
I think that's a beautiful idea. What would be cool? The GWB complex. You've got a north side, and then you've got a south side, right? So the north side is 179th Street, and it goes from basically Wadsworth to basically to the end to Cabrini, and all of that is a wall. It's all a wall. And you've got the same thing on the south side, on 178th Street, from Wadsworth to, basically like to Cabrini, where Cabrini is interesting. It got sliced by the Cross Bronx. I know that there's a movement right now. I think Noma is part of it to choose walls to do murals. Those walls in particular are pretty ugly, and I think they could use some color. So let's hit up Noma and talk to them about doing something and getting Dister and getting Snowman and getting those folks to do something on those walls to brighten them up. That'll be cool. The local graffiti artists, even like going to some of the old heads that are still doing their thing and getting them to participate. That would be so cool. Getting that continuum that you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
And getting them all to do some like really cool stuff on that wall. About the Dykeman
Yeah, man.
houses.
I could think right off the top, like just.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like right off the bat. Our man Dan, who's local, you know what I'm saying? Gruyon Concepts, who does Love Yours, you know what I mean? We have the talent. My cousin, Kron, like he's nasty too. He's a tattoo artist in Riverdale, in the Bronx, and he's also a graffiti artist. So we got the talent, you know what I mean? We definitely have the talent, and I think it's important to highlight that talent because we're important,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Graffiti is a bedrock of hip hop. You know what I mean? And we were at the beginning. We were there. We were part of the originators. I think that's important to highlight.
This neighborhood.
But yeah, Dykeman
this
Houses. What are you
community.
saying about Dykeman Houses?
What I want to say about Dykeman Houses is that Dykeman Houses have been there for a very, very, very long time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is from Dykeman Houses, and one of my family friends who's no longer with us. He grew up in the Dykeman Houses way back when, in like, what was it? It's got to be like the 40s when he was in the Dykeman Houses. Well, and then he went and he volunteered in the army, and he went to World War II. and then he lived all over the world, and he just passed away a few years ago. But he would always tell me, "Oh yeah, I grew up in the Dykeman houses." So it's interesting, those Dykeman houses have been there for a very long time, and they've seen um, um, the neighborhood's history pass through them. So it's really cool. And
Yeah.
Space 227.
It's funny. It's funny you bring up. Yeah, you bring up Kareem. What's interesting about Kareem was Lou Alcindor back in the day when he lived in
Lou
Dykeman houses,
Alcindor.
right? But what's interesting is he couldn't walk west of Broadway because he was black, and the Irish kids would threaten to kill him. So he would say that his mom was to walk behind him, like not knowing, like with him not knowing to make sure he got okay. But like it was that real. Like you couldn't go. Like Inwood was an enclave that didn't want black and brown people there. So sometimes people forget, like, Kareem went through some stuff as a kid. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of hard scrabble in certain ways, right? Like the racial animosity, he felt it at Uptown, which is wild.
Absolutely. I mean, Inwood was an enclave of Irish people, and they were protecting what they considered, I guess, to be their turf. It's such a dog eat dog world in New York City. Block by block, it can be. It's such a city of opposites. Like on the one hand, we're saying how nice people are in New York City, and they are. And if you're lost in New York, you're going to get help. But at the same time, we are also, a city with a lot of layers, and race and culture is one of those layers that is very, very telling in New York City. Like people like to say that New York is a melting pot, but it's not really a melting pot. It's more of a garden salad. Everything's mixed together, but the tomato's the tomato and the lettuce is the lettuce, and they just happen to be next to each other. But I love it here. I think
What are we
this is
talking about?
a great. We were talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then I was saying how it reminds me of salad. I guess
salad.
I'm hungry. No, I was just saying how New York City is supposedly a mixed
I'm
a
joking.
melting pot, but it's not. We don't all just meld into each other. Our cultures remain vibrant. Our cultures remain strong, and there's definitely pride and cultural pride, and racial pride, and that sometimes comes with its share of problems. I mean, it's a swirling place. I don't think there's anywhere else almost like it in the world, where you've just got so much change happening at every moment of the day. So many different people that are just like living next to each other and dealing with each other. It's just a wild place to live.
And it's funny you say that, right? I put it in the chat. There's a good it's a YouTube video from like 1968. It's called Goodbye to Glockamora. And what makes that video super amazing, right, is basically it was done by the BBC of Ireland, right? And they did a show where they would highlight Irish communities across the diaspora. So this one, that I found years ago, it was basically focusing on the Irish of Inwood in the late 60s, like while they're in the cusp of change. You know what I mean? And it's a fascinating look, because what's interesting about it, when you watch that video, the people there are referring to places in Ireland, like I'm from Dublin, I'm from here, I'm from there. And it was very reminiscent of the way Dominicans uptown now talk about DR, right? Yo soy de Mao, yo soy de Esperanza, yo soy la capital, right? And it's interesting, right? Because those Irish people are no longer here. They have long ago left. So it makes you also wonder, like, is that going to be what happens to us? But what's also fascinating about that, go back to Glockamora, you have like a young Irish person, and he was kind of like, he's driving right down Broadway. So you've seen him as like, so you see Inwood in the late '60s, and it's interesting because he was a very smart person. He was very eloquent, and he was saying a lot of these young, older Irish people don't want black people. They don't want. He said he referred to them as Puerto Ricans because that's what he was saying. We don't want. They don't want. He's like, but that's not. He wasn't saying that's what he want. He was against. He was saying the older folks, and it was a very interesting look at Irish inward. So I recommend if people should check it out. Goodbye to Glockamora. I put it on my site, but you could also just check it out on YouTube. I think it's a fascinating look, and I think if we don't take care, that could be the same thing for Dominicans, right? This could one day not be Little Dominican Republic, right? And I think that it's important for Dominicans to Washington Heights is the epicenter of the Dominican diaspora, and I hope it remains so forever. You know what I mean? And I want to do my part and keep it that way.
And you're doing your part. You've been doing your part, and you should, you're getting some recognition. You're getting a lot. I've seen that the community they know who you are. You're getting accolades from our electeds. You are like the voice of the community. Whenever ABC Channel 7 or NBC Channel 4 wants to get like a non-elected person to actually speak about what the community is about, they'll come to you. And I think that's really because of all the work that you've been doing. I recommend to everybody who wants to know about what's going on to make sure that you hit up uptowncollective.com and you see what he posts, because not only is he
thank you, brother.
Not only are you a great sharer of other people's successes, but you're also an excellent writer. And I think that that your words they
thanks, brother.
They deserve to be spread, and read globally. And also, just to keep on the love for lead. I always want to say, make sure if you're watching this, make sure you look up The Moth and Lead Black. His stuff, his Moth performance at United Palace, and you did one in Princeton as well, but the one at United Palace, it was really powerful.
It was same story. It was same story.
But still,
thank you, brother. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to you, right? Like we wouldn't. Yeah, but I want to thank you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. The Moth really that changed my life. I've always been a Moth fan. To do The Moth was dope. But thank you to you, right? Like, because we wouldn't even be on here talking to the people if it wasn't you pushing, the Uptown Voices podcast. You came up with the name. You pushed me to do it, right? Because it's like I'm doing a lot of things all the time. Like I'm never not working. You know what I'm saying? So, but I enjoy this, and this has been a game changer for me. Like I think it's a way of being even more in touch with the people. So thank you for coming up with it. And I want to tell the audience one of my favorite stories about us, right? Which was I remember when you were working for CNN Money, right? And you're one of your writers, because you were editor at CNN Money. One of your writers got the Bentley Mulsanne.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you say, "Hold on, I'm the editor. I need to drive it as well. I need to do it." So then you picked me up, like where I think I forgot where you picked me up, and then you picked, and then I went to pick up my wife, and I pulled up to my block on 192nd and Wadsworth in a $280,000 Bentley Mulsanne, right? That I was like, everybody in my block, just their mouth was just like they don't even know what to say. And then I came down with my wife, and then you dropped us off at La Marina. We looked like the fucking like just the great. So I remember that. I took pictures in that car. I've never been in a car so fly in my life. Like I would never buy that car ever. But it was an experience just to be in there. The amount of craftsmanship was crazy.
That car is amazing.
But it was fly.
That car is amazing. I would also, even if
I took pictures like that shit was mine. I put that on Instagram
I remember, I remember that. I was so gassed about it. And one of the things is when I had it uptown, I parked it in the parking lot up here on Cabrini, by the Cabrini apartments over there. And then whatchamacallit, I remember, I had something downtown, and I had to park it on the street. And I was like, oh my God. Because I didn't own the car, but I had to park it on the street. And I just went to my event and left it on the street. And I was like, well, I really hope that it's there, or that like a box truck didn't like scrape up the whole side.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. It was a beautiful car. A beautiful car, man. I would never buy it, but it felt good to be in it for a little bit.
Yeah, I would never buy it. I want to talk a little bit about this Mamdani transition. You down to keep going on the on?
Hold on. Yeah, we could keep going. But we got Maria Betancourt.
Oh yeah,
comment.
Maria.
Says, I love listening to you both talk about these important issues affecting us all. I lived for 10 years uptown. The people there are a very special breed of people. Thank you, Maria. It's so true. Uptown is very special. And, thank you for sharing that love, and thank you for tuning in. We're going to be doing these lives, every once in a while, but make sure you tell everyone about the Uptown Voices podcast. Me and my brother.
Yeah.
It's a Black and Blanco night live.
Yeah.
We can stay as long as we want, but I just got to make sure I'm watch the Knicks game.
Yeah, the Knicks is tonight. The Knicks versus the Grizzlies. Maria, I just got to say also, this is a lot of friends and family. Maria's my sister-in-law. So thank you, Maria, for Suji. We call her Suji. Thank you for being on. But I do know that there's.
Thank you, Suji. That's a cool name.
I know that there's so many other people that are probably watching us, and I appreciate everybody for being here. So I feel the love, and I think this is going to probably be like a monthly thing. This is our first time, so obviously there's some kinks. Unfortunately, it seems like we were not live on Instagram, and we also were not live on TikTok, which I wanted to make happen. But we'll work on that. I got to figure out how to make sure that those connections get made and all that good stuff. I thought I had it down, but I do, for the folks like Space 2277 who aren't living in the city, I'm so glad that we can be a resource for you. And so that's why I wanted to sort of talk a little bit about this Mamdani transition, because it's a special kind of time here. So we've got he just announced his transition team, which is all female, all women, and
Fire.
all super high high caliber,
super
high
duper
power
stars.
Superstars. We got Grace Bonilla, president and CEO of United Way, New York City. Mm-hmm. She's integral in helping food pantries get the food that they distribute to the people in need. So having her being on there is a huge thing. Melanie Hartzog is ex-deputy mayor for Health and Human Services. Again, a mover, a shaker, somebody who really makes things happen in New York. Lena Khan. Now this is like a huge name.
Lena Khan. Let's go.
Let's go. Former commissioner of the Federal Trade Commission. And Led, that after CNN, I went over to Consumer Reports, and Federal Trade Commission and Consumer Reports, there's a lot of symbiosis there, because a lot of things that we were doing and stuff that we were doing on the money side is stuff that Lena Khan is really interested in. So like making sure that websites that take your money are not being shady about how they direct you towards making different choices, because sometimes you don't know, but there's little things about how they present things, and folks don't know that they're being guided along so that they'll make the choices that they want. And Lena Khan at the Federal Trade Commission was really instrumental in trying to address those things that we don't always see in our everyday life or understand. So they're kind of complicated, they're kind of heady, but she found a way to address them. And so it's really great that she's here in New York City because she's got that viewpoint and she can really address those issues really well. Maria Torres Springer.
Yeah, and the billionaire and the bill.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because
before
it's
you
important.
say that, the billionaires become bedwetters when they hear her name, right? Like they go to therapy sessions and they talk about Lena Khan. They are so fearful for her. One of the reasons that the oligarchs, the tech oligarchs, hated Biden was because of her. right?
Yes.
Because she was a bulldog on the ass, and she would go back and look at all what laws she could use to apply. Like she went in the books and said, what
Yeah.
can we use against them? How do we slow down them? So Lena Khan, like what I'm saying, and please finish the rest of this team. But what I'm saying, this shows you this man is not playing. He is not playing. He's going day one with a transition team that's all stars. All
Yeah.
stars about fixing the other problems in the city. Let's go. Tell me the rest of them because I'm super
Yeah, yeah.
fucking excited. Let's go.
Yeah, all right. And I just want to say also to that point, a lot of people are so drunken by their own, like, oh, I'm smart. I know how to do this. Oh, I know how to do that. What I love about Mandani is that he knows that, yeah, he's young. Yeah, he's not got the experience that a lot of people might wish for a mayor to have. What he does have, though, is he has the ability to bring smart people together. And this group of people, if he can make them all play nice and play hard and get things done, which I'm sure he can, that's just going to show you how collaboration can be so much more than dictatorship. So it's like we've got these two like really interesting things happening in this country where we've got on the one hand at the highest level this pseudo dictator, and here in New York City we've got this like mega collaborator. So anyway, I'll keep going. Maria Torres Springer, she's the ex-first deputy mayor of New York City, and she's also an ex-Ford Foundation executive. So she's of the Adams campaign folks. She was one of the good people, in my humble opinion. She seemed to stick around and make sure that things were getting done because, God bless us, that mayor was not getting. It was just. I don't even want to talk about him. I don't even want to say his name anymore. And finally, Elena Leopold, somebody who I hadn't really heard of before, pretty young. She's the executive director for the transition, and she was a former senior member of the de Blasio administration. So those are really, some powerful women. Now, there's a couple of more additions to that have recently been made. Dean Fulihan. I don't really know how to say his name, but I think it's Fulihan. He was just appointed the first deputy mayor.
He's deputy mayor?
He's deputy mayor. He's deputy mayor now. And he's former de Blasio. And, that was a little bit of a surprise because there was some other folks who were wanting that position. Ellie Beesgard Church, she's the chief of staff for Mamdani, and Jessica Tisch, we still don't know. She's the NYPD commissioner. Mamdani says that he's open to keeping her on. She hasn't said whether or not she will be coming back. It looks, if you're reading tea leaves, I can't make predictions really, but we'll see. I don't know. She's part of the billionaire class, led.
I don't like her.
So
I don't like her.
You don't like her?
I don't like her at all. I don't like her at all. I don't like her at all. Her family's responsible for a lot of shit. I don't trust billionaires, and it sucks that in certain ways I've heard that she's been effective because she's not part of like that corrupt bureaucracy before. But sometimes I feel like she's effective because she's a billionaire, and I just don't trust billionaires. But again, I'm gonna defer to this mayor, right? Because if he chooses to move that way, I'm not gonna. But I don't trust her. I don't trust the billionaires either, billionaire class either. I don't trust them either. I think they just don't want to pay taxes. They don't give a fuck about us. So I don't like billionaires, and now I don't trust billionaires. And that goes to fucking Beyonce too, right? Because you're like, listen,
Jay-Z
man,
too? Jay-Z too?
My kids love Beyonce. Jay-Z, but we're talking about Beyonce right now, but Jay-Z too. right? But Beyonce, like my kids love Beyonce, like you know what I mean. Like my kids,
Yeah.
I've taken my kids to Beyonce concerts and spent a great deal of money, right? But she just went to what's her name? What's her name? The Kardashian wife, Chris Jenner, whatever her name
Oh,
is, the
yeah,
girl, the
yeah,
woman,
yeah, yeah.
and she went to a party for her at Jeff Bezos' house, right?
Yeah.
So it's like these people are partying while your people are struggling, and I'm tired of this billionaire bullshit. Like we need to get back to basics because these billionaires they're the ones destroying this country. Like I hate to say it because they've bought everything, and and again like it's no war but class war at this point. Right, so it's either the people are gonna be sovereign, or the billionaires are gonna be sovereign. It's no more. It's either or, and I'm going to go with the people, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we have to, and I mean, I don't want to go off the rails, but Elon Musk, the board of Tesla, just basically said, okay, if you can achieve these benchmarks within this time period, then we're going to approve a pay package that would make you the first trillionaire. And when we start talking about a trillionaire, it stops making sense. It's like using fake words like googly doobly jigglionaire, like it's just like, okay, well now
But
you're a trillionaire.
but
like,
even
he's not a trillionaire yet,
yeah,
but
even the fact that but the fact that he has a possibility of being a trillionaire, right? Without actually, it's based on potential.
yes,
It's based on the dreams he's been selling, not on anything tangible, right? It's based on projections.
I mean,
Right?
okay,
and
look.
again, this is what I'm saying. He has been, if anybody, he's getting welfare. Like that's the welfare we've been giving to him. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like this is enough. Enough. This guy was buying people's, giving $1 million for people to vote. Like if we're not gonna deport anybody, deport his ass, deport Peter Thiel, deport Melania, deport all these fucking people. I'm fucking done with all of them. Like I'm really so fucking fed up. And again,
Yeah.
we need like either your capitalism controls your democracy, or your democracy controls your capitalism. It's either or, and this shit is all fucked up. We need to turn it up. We need to change things. It needs to change.
Yeah, no, I absolutely believe. I absolutely. I mean, look, I certainly I have no love for Elon Musk. Like he's been getting like $50 billion in subsidies from the federal government. If he wanted to save the federal government some money, he could have just stopped getting $50 billion in subsidies, and maybe I would have kept my job. But then I wouldn't be doing this. And so I'm not. Look, can I just say something? I'm going to say something. I want to say something. It's. I love that we're doing this. I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a great time. And
Likewise.
like more and
too.
more, like I'm finding my own voice, and more I have great plans for beyond this podcast. I really do. I really want to do more. I really want to keep it going. And there's a lot more plans that I want to do. And I've talked about those plans. I've talked about the but I really want to go beyond this podcast. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to do this, and that I have a partner like you to join me in this. And I know that you're
Likewise,
doing
brother.
so many things, but I'm going to keep pushing you, to with my plans, and hopefully you'll be able to you'll find
for
them
sure.
worthy, and we'll continue this
Do it.
we'll continue this journey together. Anyway, well, so yeah, and so let me
sir.
just say this about Elon Musk, though, at the same time. And Elon Musk is a genius, but he's a genius not of like doing the things that he doesn't.
Evil genius.
He's an evil genius, but he's also a genius in like finding the really smart people to like do his SpaceX, to design his Tesla cars, to all these things. He's not in there like making those things work. He's not the engineer that's like making things happen. If it's left up to him, it's like it turns into like Twitter X. Like it just becomes a shell, and I don't know, like I don't use Twitter anymore personally. It's not something that I have a one man you know, ban on Twitter. Anyway, back to Mamdani. Mamdani, great team. Tish, I hear you. She's a billionaire class person. But as a billionaire, she was also like sanitation commissioner. I think that says something. I mean, you know what I mean? Like like you're a billionaire and you're talking about
No, it
trash.
doesn't. It says she wants fucking power. She wants power. Listen, man, I'm sorry. She's a plant as well. She's the rich put someone up there. What's interesting about that role, right? About the police commissioner role is very interesting. Let's look back. Let's go back to De Blasio. During the Blasio era, right? All the police commissioners were more powerful than De Blasio. De Blasio will come out say one thing, and then you see the police commissioner saying something else. They have more power. And that's the thing is like, I'm not anti-police, right? But I'm anti-police calcified power, right? And their power during the de Blasio era showed, in a sense, right? Because the police commissioner who it changed hands a few times was more important than de Blasio. De Blasio was just seemed to be following the lead, right? They would turn their backs on him and everything. During the Adams campaign, he's a former cop. They didn't need to have, they had him in there. You know what I mean? And now she's in there. And while I agree that in a way it disrupts the police, control, like that top hierarchy, but I just don't trust her. She's a Tish. They're super billionaires, right? If they're doing things, it's not for the general good of the city. It's for the general good of their class. And again, like I'm gonna say this again as a person that's been focused on race most of my life. I'm late to the class party, but I'm fully on board on the class party now. And I don't think she represents our interests because she's one of that class. She's not part of our class. So that's my only thing with her. I think, but again, it is what I'm gonna defer to my mayor. If he sees fit to have her, that's fine. But I don't trust her, and I don't really fuck with her.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And I think what you were saying about like them partying together, Beyonce, Jeff Bezos, all these people, there's so much good that can be done with that money. I'm not saying that they have to spend it all on doing good, but there gets to be a point where it's like, what's the point of all this? What's the point of having all this money? Like, what is it really?
Billionaires should not exist.
Yeah.
Billionaires should not exist.
They
should not exist. They should be taxed because they made their billions off of people. There's no reason to have these billionaires that fucking Bezos went out of space. We have people starving right here. You can eliminate poverty just with a fraction of their wealth, right?
And you can still go out, and you can still go to outer space.
That's the problem.
He can still go to outer space and
go do what the fuck you want. But what I'm saying is like but I'm saying no, you don't have to go fucking outer space because what they're gonna do is outer space is pollute and destroy outer space like they've done this planet. We don't want billionaires anymore. We don't want to don't go out of space. Don't go to the bottom of the ocean and die at the bottom of the ocean. Spend your money on people that are living right now. I think that's part of the problem though. It's like the lack of these people are not here to help us. They're not here for us. They're here for themselves. And we need a full-on revolt where we stick out for each other because if we get together, there's no power that can stop us. And that's what I think Mamdani shows. They're like, the people united, we can't be divided. Like we really could, we really could change things. But I'm done with the billionaires. No, don't go to outer space. You don't need to go out of space. That takes too much money. Stay here on Earth. Fix Earth. Because you can. You have so much money. It's either, we're going to either tax the rich or we're going to eat the rich. Those are the choices. You choose.
I mean, look.
You choose.
I don't agree.
And again, that's what I'm saying. No war but class war. That's it.
I don't agree with you that we shouldn't go to outer space. I do agree with you that it shouldn't be outer space tourism, like go out and just
Yeah, no, hold on. That's not what I'm saying. No. I'm not saying not go to outer space. That's not what I'm saying. First of all, I'm saying fucking Bezos going out of space for little trips. Right? That's
Yeah.
not about good. But I also want to say, you know what? Fuck it. We shouldn't go out of space. You know why we shouldn't go out of space? Because it's only going to be for war. It's only going to be to pollute that, right? So that we shouldn't go out of space. You should leave that alone. Because if it was purely for scientific knowledge and for growth of the human race, then it's different. But it's not for that. It's for war and for control and for profiteering. So no, we shouldn't go out of space. We should not be that. We should really work on the terrestrial problems we have here. And if we're not going to go to outer space for the general benefit of humankind, then we should not be going out of space because it's going to be just another theater to play war games in. And I don't trust the billionaires with outer space. So no, fuck outer space. Let's stay here.
I mean, you do have a point. Like the fact that it's going to be weaponized. I think, it was a pipe dream to like say, oh no, you can't go. We can't put weapons up in outer space. They're putting weapons in outer space. There's stuff.
But you look at it again. Like I just think like one of the things that I think we have to like. We have a veil. We've lived in a year in the last few years have been years of revelation. Right, the veil has come off, and what people are saying is let's put the veil back on. Let's pretend, right, that these things are good, that they're doing things good. But no, NASA was started with a lot of former Nazi scientists, right?
Yeah,
and it wasn't for the good of mankind. It was to control. It was control. And war. What I'm saying,
but it was control.
Like, again, the idea.
It was control.
No, hold on.
We couldn't have
Octavio, no. What I'm saying to you is, Octavio, I think we need to look at all of our preconceived notions about things. Everything is under review. Everything. And this notion that the NASA was doing it for the good of mankind, and that's bullshit. It was doing it for white supremacy and American dominance. That's it. Not for the good of mankind. And again, that's only where we're headed. This does not work that way.
I think it's complex. So let me just start with that. If we're going to debate that, but at the time, I would rather have the bomb be in American hands than in the Nazi hands. Of course, we fucked it up because then we flew over to Japan and we actually used the nuclear bomb against the Japanese, right?
Twice.
And there's still debate about whether or not that was necessary. The Japanese fought really, really hard against the Americans, and so the Americans didn't want to have more bloodshed of their own in Japan, and they were able to demonize and dehumanize the Japanese to the point where Americans were like, okay, let's do that. And then everything else.
No, I'm sorry, Octavio, I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you, Octavio, please. That's not what happened.
What do you mean?
They didn't have to drop those bombs on Nagasaki, Hiroshima. No, I'm saying the government. They didn't have to drop those bombs. They didn't. The war was over. The bombs were dropped just to scare just to show you what America was willing and capable of doing. There was no necessity for this.
Because why? Because they could have. The Russians could have come in. Because the Russians were
what I'm saying, there was no
at the border.
First of all, they want okay. Okay, hold on, Octavio. Let's hold on. Stop. Again, I'm sorry to tell you this, but again, it's like you keep going through this white framing, and I know you don't mean to, right? But drop the bomb on Germany then. Drop the bomb on Russia then, right? Why don't you bomb it on Germany? Germany was the problem. Why'd you drop it on non-white people? Twice. The only time it's been done. What I'm saying is this notion that they did it because they had to. They didn't have to. They did not have to. It was purposeful, and it was done on purpose, and it was a show of military might. What I'm saying to you is this notion that this American thing has any good intentions for people, like regular people. I think it's nonsense. And I don't think the times warrant just giving them this kind of, the benefit of the doubt anymore. Like, these things weren't done because they had to do them. They did not have to drop 2 atomic bombs on people. Didn't drop 1, you dropped 2. The only country to ever done it. It wasn't out of necessity.
Hundreds of thousands.
It was
hundreds
done.
Of thousands
it was done. It was done on purpose, right? It was done again. And if why don't you do it in Germany? Why don't you go do it? Because they're white people. That will be considered wrong, right? That's what I'm saying. Like that's why we're in this situation, because we keep underestimating. We always make excuses for white people and Americans. White Americans. We always make excuses. We always say, it's for the good. No, it's not. It's to further white supremacy and white control. And when we're not ever going to get away from that. Like, and it's not to the benefit of all white people either, right? It's not. We see that right now. We see white people suffering in this country right now just like everyone else. But I'm saying it's done for white supremacy and white rich people to run the world. It's not done for anything nice. They didn't need to drop those bombs at all.
White rich people, I think but I think that it's not just white rich people. It just happened to be at the time, most of the rich people were white. I think that we're seeing now, like what you were talking about, is it white rich people or is it just rich people? Because now we've got Jeff Bezos and Beyonce and all colored people partying together and hanging out. So are the corporate?
It's still. But hold on, but it's still white supremacy. It's still white supremacy. So you could have people of color upholding white supremacy, right? So they're just tokens. Like again, all these people, they just platform until they're not platformed, right? I hate Kanye. I used to love old Kanye. Kanye's a fucking coon. I cannot fuck with Kanye at all. But they took away that platform when he became. So he was a billionaire until he wasn't. Right? And again, he deserved it to be deplatformed. I don't like Kanye, fuck Kanye. But what I'm saying to you is these people are not, they're just tokens. They're just playing their part. At the end of the day, it's white supremacy. Doesn't mean that every white person benefits. That's not what I'm saying. But it's still but white supremacy is the operating system of America. Right? And if we try to say it's not, that it's for good, no, none of these things are for good. Even the fact that you have women working in this country, it wasn't because they cared about women, right? It's because you needed someone to work because the men were off to war, right? And as soon as the men came back from war, they wanted to put women back in there, but women said, no, we're not going nowhere, right? So what I'm saying is you can make it seem like capitalism cared about women, but they didn't. They cared about capitalism. And it's always going to care about itself. So all the things they do, they're not doing it. NASA wasn't for the plan and the scientific exploration. It was a lot of fucking Nazi sciences. It was about domination and control. And again, I just think whenever we deviate from domination and control and white supremacy, we're getting lost and we're believing the nonsense. And I just think let's not put that veil back on. Let's just take the veil off and deal with everything as it comes.
No, I think it's important what you're saying. I think it's important that we do look back and put everything in review, and that we do ask these questions about, was it about the good or was it about domination and control? And yeah, I think it was a lot of it, about domination and control. I can't argue that point that it wasn't. I think the fact of the matter is that the United States original sin, slavery, then it was Jim Crow, keeping people subjugated, especially black people, and to say that race doesn't have a to say that we don't have a problem with racism in America is absolutely wrong, and that's not what I'm saying. I hope you don't think that that's where I'm coming from, that I'm thinking like everybody's hunky-dory. I don't believe that. What I do want to do is like look for the hope, look for the hopefulness. And I think that there is a better, although still nascent and small, understanding of what white supremacy is all about. and how to like be aware of it and how to like try to combat it. I think it's interesting what you say that for a long time you were about race, 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 and lately you've been more sort of like bringing in class into that discussion because those two things definitely go hand in hand. And so it's a it requires ongoing discussion, and that's great that we can do that here. So you know, more of that coming up.
Of course, brother.
But it's interesting when you look at all cultures in the world. It seems that skin tone and class always seem to have like some kind of meaning. I mean, even I don't know if I want to. I'll save that for another day. I'll save this for another day. A personal story about how in my face race became and culture became, although not class. It was more about race. I got a very like intense view of how quickly we retreat into our corners of race and culture in certain circumstances. More on that another day. It's getting to that time, Led. It's getting to that time. It's 7 o'clock
Yes, sir.
almost.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my wife made
it's
tacos,
almost-
so I want to go eat my tacos that my
Yeah,
wife
you
made.
gotta
You know
eat,
what I mean?
You gotta eat your tacos. We're gonna do a Friendsgiving here,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make tamales for that Friendsgiving. So hopefully you guys will be here enjoying.
And I gotta say
some
one
of the
thing too,
tamales.
Octavio.
Yo,
Before we go, I want to say that Maurice Oñano's coming back to the United Palace. Sasha Mercy and Glorellis. You know, we're going to come back December 18th. So tickets are available now. You know what I mean? You can pick them up. It's going to be the United Palace. It's going to be a great night right around Christmas. I'll put it in the chat for everyone that wants to purchase tickets. It's going to be dope. This is like, we've done a few, like, I don't know how many at this point. We've done a bunch of Maurice Oñano's United Palace. I was instrumental, you know, bringing them into there. So, you know, we always have a good time in United Palace, man. So make sure you get your tickets.
we should all go. I think we
Maurice
should.
Oñano, United Palace.
Also, I want to say a shout out to one of our good friends, Frank de la Merced, one of our Uptown artists.
That's right. Congrats, Frank. Congrats, brother.
Frank. He is going to be having his art displayed all over New York City. He's in the New York City art underground, literally, because the MTA.
He's the man, Frank. Yeah, so you're gonna be on one of the first, the elevator, right? It's gonna be one of the first.
I think it's more than just the elevator. I think it's going to be on trains as well. I'm not sure, Frank. If you're still on,
Okay.
correct us. But I'm not sure. I think it's going to be all over the underground. If I'm not mistaken, those paintings go everywhere. But even if it's the elevators, it's the only time that I would ever want to be stuck in an elevator is looking at Frank's artwork.
I'm sorry. I love Frank, but I don't want to be stuck in the elevator. I hate fucking being stuck in elevators. I'm sorry. I love you, Frank, but I don't. I'm gonna get mad if I get stuck in your elevator. So
We love you, Frank.
yeah,
but we don't
no,
want to
Frank
be.
is the
We
man,
don't want to
man.
get
Shout out
stuck
to
in an
Frank, he's the
elevator. And everybody,
Yeah,
if
I don't wanna-
you're here, thank
it's
you
funny
so
you say
much.
that. You know, it's funny you say that. Like about.
Yeah.
I want to just say real quick about elevators, right? So I have a thing, like, so I, you know, again, for people that don't know, Broadway is the dividing line uptown, right? So, you know, east of Broadway's poor, more Dominican, more people of color. West of Broadway is whiter, more affluent. I had a rule for a good chunk of my life. I didn't get on elevators east of Broadway. Cause I lived on the east of Broadway, and elevators were like super shady. And luckily I lived on the second floor, so I would always never take the elevator in the hood because they would smell like piss or it'd be really bad. So I have a thing with hood elevators, so I don't like elevators. So as much as I like Frank, I would not want to get stuck in the elevator. Just saying.
No, you know, Yeah, I was being hyperbolic. I also don't want to be stuck in an elevator, even if Frank's artwork is there. But
No, but now you're gonna
but
get stuck, and it's gonna be your fault.
it's gonna be my fault, and I'm gonna be like elevator.
No, but he's gonna. That's what he's
Anyway.
gonna be on the elevator. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Frank. I love your artwork. You know, me and Frank go way back. You didn't know this, Led, before, but now you know it now. We go way back to we were both CNNers back in the day, and we're just so lucky to have you in our community, Frank. And I didn't know this, Frank. I'm
Frank,
talking to
you're
you
the
like
fucking
you're on
man.
the show, but I didn't know this, that you were actually raised in the community on Wadsworth. So anyway, we'll have to have you back on talk about more good stuff. Led, is that it? Are we done? Is that it for our live show?
That's it. Spread love is the Uptown way. We done. Our first live was beautiful and wonderful. Spread love is the Uptown way. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.